Top of the morning to you, good afternoon to you, good evening, depending on when you will be watching this session. Welcome to the lifestyle segment right here at Prime Media TV. As you all know, I am Ayo, bringing you delicious and robust conversation on the lifestyle segment. And once again, today, I have something really, really interesting to discuss with you together with the one and only living treasure of Prime Media TV.
Thank
How are
you.
you doing
Thank
today?
you. Thank you. Initially you used to deny not knowing me as
Yeah,
living
I've
treasure.
known you as living treasure now. I'm not denying again.
Okay.
So before we go into the conversation today, let's go on a quick break. And when we get back, we'll dive into the show. Stay with us.
Get it. Oh, how do I get it? Jane, what's wrong? How do you get what? I've been scrolling all day to see where I can get these shoes. Have you tried online vendors? Yes, but I haven't found anyone like it. How about Remy Global Resources? Remy? I'll check it out. If I don't get to see where I can get these shoes, I'll just give up on it. Oh my god, I found it! At Remy Global Resources, this is how we put a smile on the face of our customers. We do not only make you see what you want, we also get it delivered to you at your doorstep. Why wait? Visit remy.com.ng to buy from us today. You can also sell your products on our website. Delivery within Lagos takes only 3 working days. Interstate delivery takes 7 to 14 working days. Contact the number on your screen for more details. Terms and conditions applied.
Welcome back to the show. So today we are looking at the conversation around the woman who was seen maltreating a girl in a viral video. But because of the algorithm, the video easily will not be playing the video for you, but we'll go through the news headline and give you an highlight of what the conversation is all about. Then we dive into the conversation. So the story reads: Police arrest woman maltreating child in viral video. So the Lagos State Police Command has arrested a 32-year-old Fumi Faith who was captured maltreating a female child in a viral video. The State Police Public Relations Officer SP Benjamin Undeyi confirmed this in a statement on Wednesday before her arrest. An ex-com user had shared the video asking for help rescuing a female child who was being maltreated. A voice in the video condemned the treatment as dehumanizing and appealed to the Lagos state government for intervention. The voice said, "Mommy Miriam, this is bad. It is dehumanizing. You can't treat this girl like this. I'm giving the Lagos state government this video. This is dehumanizing." According to Undeyi, Faith was arrested by officers from the Okeodo division on Tuesday. The child has been placed in the care of the Lagos State Ministry of Youth and Social Development for proper care and shelter. The statement said the woman captured in a now viral video maltreating a female child, 32-year-old Fumi Faith, has been arrested. She was arrested by the police officers from the Okeodo division yesterday, Tuesday, June 4th, 2024. Meanwhile, the child has been handed over to the Lagos State Ministry of Youth and Social Development for proper care and shelter. So this is the conversation, and this came to me as a shocker. I saw the video. I couldn't watch till the end because this is not just a little girl. Outside the fact that the girl was maltreated, this woman even subjected the girl to mockery. And it is making me to ask, what would a child have done that will make you beat? She was holding a 2x2. And when the man behind the camera was even, why are you doing this? Is dehumanizing. She was like, what's concern you? What's your business? Mind your business. And obviously she doesn't know that what she's doing is wrong to a child. I mean, where have we landed now? How do we draw the line between corporal punishment for a child and disciplining a child? To her, she's disciplining the child in her own language. But then let me hear your first thought on this story before we dive into the main conversation.
Firstly, I want to commend the efforts of the Lagos State Police for coming to the rescue, to the aid of that child. One thing, I love the fact that she felt nothing can be done, and the police proved her wrong. You see, first of all, I noticed that in this country, sometimes when we have people living with us, we do things we cannot do to our children,
Yeah.
to them. All right. And I also want to commend the effort of the reporter of the incident, because the government wouldn't have come into the situation without that person reporting. All right. So on first of all, I think it begins with the general public knowing that there's this saying that a child for one is a child for all. We should know that once we notice a mishandling of a child, uh, 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 there is need for us to intervene, whether we are related or not. There's a case that happened in a place recently, which I'm fully aware of. A child was spotted, walking, like someone that is in pain, and having observed, being observed by some people, some ladies call that child together, to themselves, and try to interrogate that little girl. And we discover that that girl has been undergoing abuse from the woman she is staying with. Imagine a situation where a child was beaten, not just beaten, was used, the iron, pressing iron was used on her body. You see where she pulled her clothes, you see scars on her body, and thank God for that intervention of those people. We discovered that even when the woman was arrested, she tried denying it, but the scars on her body was an evidence against her. So now that the woman was made to pay for that, for her action. She was subjected to admit that regardless of she wanted to target stubbornness. But when I discovered that you have your own children,
Yeah.
and their own children are stubborn, every child are stubborn in one way or the other. Have you disowned your own?
You see, my own concern is that regardless of how stubborn a child is it until you beat the child like a goat that will stop the child, that will prevent the child from being stubborn?
Do you know that when you even talk about stubbornness, you know, we often see that every attitude, when we grow up, sometimes when you grow up and possibly become maybe a Christian, you undergo some training, some certain attitude might change. But discover that some of the attitude we see manifested by children, if you trace their parents, you either find it either in their mother or in their father. Now, when you say a child is stubborn, a child will behave like a child. There are better ways to correct. You don't use fire to quench fire. There is a way that when you are too hard on children, you are hardening their hearts. Sometimes they want to believe that pass beating now, no be king, and they will just beat me. That is the mindset when you flog a child just because of stubbornness, and you are not giving them proper education on the consequences of what they are doing, maybe future consequences. Now, so what I want to say is that what we saw was a case of abuse and maltreatment, and the way to arrest that situation. This thing always happen. We are talking about this one because someone reported it. The way to arrest it is to understand that the every one of us, the society, the community, the family members, neighborhood, they have a part to play in handling this situation. Because if nobody reports to the government will never get to know, and the government can only come in when it is reported. So I believe that if you don't see, sometimes you see a child working late hour, sometimes you see a child hawking, carrying loads that is above, that is more than their age. You come in, you have a right to come in, because no parent will allow. There's a way parents don't treat their own children. It's common that some of this wicked treatment is only on children, people that are living with maybe aunties and all that. All right. So we as individuals, we should understand that when we come across children, regardless of their gender, going through things that is beyond their age, we have every right to intervene.
Well, now let's look at it from this dimension, because personally, I am not in support of the way that woman had flogged that girl and subjected her to that public mockery. But then there's a saying, there's a proverb that says, "Spare the rod and spoil the child," and we can actually link it to a Bible verse that talk about a person who spares the rod hates his son, and he who uses the cane is actually helping to discipline the child. Now, at what point should we melt flogging as a punishment for children? At what point should you withhold it, that this thing is no longer something I can use cane for? Because I once had a 7-year-old who did something very bad to me. And I said, "Bring your hand, I will flog you." And the girl asked me, "Auntie, how many will you flog me?"
Mm.
And as soon as she asked me, "Auntie, how many will you flog me?" I shrunk back and I was like, "What do you mean?" Said, you always beat me when I commit an offense. So how many do you want to beat me this time?"
This time, she's
When she
already
asked,
used to it.
she's already used to. So when she asked me that question, I dropped the cane and I thought about it for a moment. I couldn't even melt the punishment I wanted to give to her again. I had to stop, and she continued. She even asked, "Auntie, are you not flogging me again?" And I thought to myself, like, oh wow, this guy is used to me flogging her. I need to do something else. Then I noticed that children become used to flogging. That's why I said, when you want to flog them, they do like this: "Flog me." But flog me. Do you even flog?
Some of
There
them
was
are
a time.
so hard-hearted that they will not even cry.
Yeah, exactly. I taught in school for back to back about 5 years, and at some point there was a day I flogged some students. Hey, after flogging the students for 3 days, I was feeling pain, and the child did not even cry after flogging. I was feeling pain in my hand because it's been long I melted such punishment to children. So, at what point should we melt caning? As now, we are not limiting it to students alone. As a parent, at what point should you say that no, this is not a case I should flog this child? This is a case where I can actually talk to this child or look for other things that I can use to ensure that I melt the right punishment for this child.
Okay, you are referring to caning. First of all, the case of that woman was not cane. It was 2 by 2. What we saw with her was beyond cane.
Exactly.
All right, that one we can only attribute that one to pure wickedness. All right. Then talking about at what point should we stop flogging a child for wrongdoing? First of all, we should trace the genesis of what we see manifesting in that child. Sometimes when you go to the hospital for some treatment, the doctors will always ask you, has anybody suffered the same thing in the family? There are some cases you go to for checkup for treatment in the hospital, they want to find out if it's a reoccurrence in the family. So some attitude, some funny character we see manifest from children is something that follow the blood, that is in the bloodline. Right. So first of all, you should begin to the problem from the root. Is this thing this thing is something that me too did? Then there are spiritual aspects of everything, in as much as we are not related this to it. But sometimes you need to pray for these children. All right. Then when you have tried flogging and discover that it's not working, there is need for orientation. Let that child be aware of the implication of what they are doing. For example, you have a girl child who always want to, mingle with opposite sex and all that, living some kind of rough life. You need to educate her as she grows to a certain age that even if I flog you, a time will come you're still going to live your life. And whatever mistake you have made, some of these mistakes cannot be corrected anymore. And you have to be the one to suffer the consequences. So I think it's not all about flogging a child. You need to educate that child on the effects of that. Of course, you can't be flogging, just like the case you mentioned, a grown up child. So sometimes you're even giving them, there's this characteristics of living things. All right, adaptation. When you flog a child when all you can do is to flog a child. Her body system, his body system will get used to it. So they don't feel it anymore. And don't forget that the pain of cane can just last for some minutes. All right, and that person has forgotten. So sometimes even when they want to do some certain things, if they remember that they just to flog them, they'll go ahead and do it. After not to flog, not them will get tired. All right. So because even parents, when they get to a certain age, how many times do you want to use your energy in flogging children that are stronger than you? All right. So I believe it shouldn't be limited to flogging a child. Educate them.
Yeah.
Then let them know that if they don't change, this thing is going to affect their future, it's going to affect their life.
Well, I won't entirely say that we should scrap flogging totally from disciplining children.
Children at what age? You asked the question, at what age?
Exactly. That's where I want to come in from. That there are children, maybe like 2 years old, 3 years old, that they don't mind putting their hand in the fire. Even if you tell them this thing is, this Yoruba thing that you tell them, this is Jojo, is hot. They want to confirm if it is hot. By the time they are hot from that experience, they have faced the consequence. Now you have flogged the child for the first time, for the second time, and this child insists that no, this is where I want to go to. Then train children to face consequences of their action, which you are lighted. But for some certain age, like let's say 2 years to 5 years old, or 2 years old to 6 years old, these children are just coming up. To some extent, they want to do what they want to do because they feel like it is the right thing to do. So I'm an advocate for giving children chances. When you do something, I will warn you for the first time, even if you are between that age range, before I will finally flog you. You are within that age range. Don't do this thing. I have my neighbor's son would always come to my house, and if I tell him don't do this, he would watch me, and after watching me and seeing that I am not watching, he would go to that thing, and that is exactly what he would do. I'll call his name. Don't do this thing again. If you do it for the for the third time, I'm going to beat you. He would watch me again and attempt to play with that thing. Then I will beat him. Now, the mistake I feel like parents make is that flogging children unnecessarily without necessarily telling them why you are flogging them. You see that you're just flogging me. I don't know why you're flogging me. After flogging the child, you didn't warn the child. You didn't give prior warning. You didn't tell them this is what you have done wrong. So as I'm flogging you, I'm telling you I have warned you before. Don't play with this thing. You play with it is the reason why I'm flogging you. In fact, sometimes when I flog some of those children around me, their mothers or their parents or elderly ones around me like, why are you conversing with children as if you are conversing with adults? I said, I want them to know the reason why I'm flogging them. So this is where the mistake comes from parents. Sometimes you are flogging a child. These children do not even know why you are flogging them. So I feel like even as you are melting out flogging as a punishment for children, parents should learn to explain them, say this is the reason why I flogged you. And even after flogging them, there are times that we should allow children to face consequences of their action.
It depends. It depends on the kind of consequences you want them to face. But let me take it from the angle of educating them on the reason why you are flogging them. Something happened. I have 2 dogs in my house. Right, these dogs are big dogs, and there was a day I pulled my shoe, and one of them.
Oh, inside.
No, they
messed it. Oh, ate it. I was actually expecting that they
expensive. I was so mad. So I had to go after them, and I flogged them. Immediately they saw me. Like of course when I entered, they would welcome me. Immediately they saw me. The one that ate the shoe was so afraid. He started running away. I was so angry. So I go after that dog and I flogged the dog. So I noticed that somebody visited me, and while we were inside, the slippers of that person, one of it like he condemned it. And I went on and flogged the dog. So when I was relating the matter to somebody outside, he said the dog is running because he knows he has done something wrong. But me beating the dog, the dog does not know why I'm beating. He said next time that thing they ate, I should use it to wipe them, that they will know. And truly, the third time this thing happened, I used that very one of the this thing to pursue them, and I flogged them. Since then, it stopped because he noticed that that is why I am beaten. They were beaten. All right. So I think you are right by let the children be educated on why they were being beaten. And it's not punishing a child is not limited to flogging.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
You can there are sometimes we watch movies of parents who frozen the accounts of their children because of as a matter of punishment. Sometimes that is why it's good to have good relationship with your children. You know, there are things like, if you do that and I will not take you out, I will not buy you bobo. You know, they fear, they respect things like that. All right. Now talking about giving children opportunity to face their consequences, not in all cases. Now, there's a reason why in almost every medication have this inscription: keep away from children. Now, if you notice that these children, even as much as sometimes we have little kids who are very sharp, they want to dare things, right? The best thing to do is keep those things away from them. Let them be under proper watch, right? Because there are some consequences that they are not just going to be the one to bear, you still be the one to suffer the effect, right? So to me, I feel when a child has not grown to the age of a child of, you can have a child of 2 years, 3 years, very not stubborn. They just want to be. They are very active. We can't call that one stubbornness. They are active. They want to dare things. All right, but only you as a parent knows the consequences of that thing on them and on you if they are not. All right. I visited a home. I saw one very fine boy, and I was seeing. And in this house, they are rich people. They have maids in the house and other people in the house. And I saw one very annoying scar on the leg of that small child. I was like, what could have happened to them? I couldn't hold it. Even though it was my first time, I couldn't hold it. What could have happened to this little boy with these massive people in this house? He said they were making pap for him, and he dragged
Oh my God.
right the plate of that pap. You needed to see the look on that leg, and of course I know it will cost the parents so much to treat that, right? So is an active child, want to see things, wanted to see what is in that plate, right? So the best thing to do for that kind of child is make sure you keep things away. Don't allow them to access the kitchen. Sometimes you lock the door when you are leaving, right? You don't so until they grow to that stage. So when a child grows to, there are certain things you want to allow someone. For example, you have a child who is in school that does not want to read. You have talked and talked, and they refuse to adhere. You can allow when you make, but you make sure you allow the school or the class teacher to repeat her or to repeat him. So when he sees her mates in higher classes and he's in the same class, the shame will be there for him. He will be the one to suffer the shame.
Now, I want to take it from that shame that you just mentioned. You know, we have had from this story now. One of the things that the woman A melted as punishment for this girl is to subject her to shame.
Okay.
Allowing a child that's grown, she's not she's a preteen, allowing her to bathe outside. To her, I will mock you. To her, all those your mates, they will see you that you are bathing outside. They will see everything that you are always hiding. To her, it is a form of punishment. And I've seen cases like that before, where you see teenagers that are well grown. The parents will say, because you did this, you bathe naked outside, you walk naked outside, so that you feel ashamed. I personally have done something, but not as deadly as what this woman did. I had a 7-year-old I was taking lesson. She would not listen to me. She would always throw tantrum during lesson. I'm teaching you, you are doing something else. I asked you, do this thing, read this thing for me, because she's an only child. She wanted to prove that my mommy will not allow you to beat me because my mommy owns the school. Okay, no problem. Your mommy owns the school. Your mommy does not own the assembly ground now. We own the assembly ground together. So I told her, learn this thing. You will recite it for me on the assembly ground the next day. I was feeling like, you can't do it. She was feeling like that. She has this level of pride that my mommy owns the school. She can sack and unsack. Okay, your mommy will sack me, Abi. No problem. And I told her, you will recite this thing for me on the assembly ground. If you cannot recite it, I will take you to all the junior classes. I think she was in class 5. I thought you go to basic 4 to recite it for them, basic 3, basic 2, you recite it for all of them. This girl thought I was joking. The next day on the assembly ground, oh yeah, come outside, come and recite it. Because she's extroverted when she's with her friends, but when it comes to learning, she's extremely quiet. So when she discovered that I'll be standing in front of all these people, hey, at that point, my girl almost pee on her body. She came outside, recited it. Everybody applauded her. Wow, so you can do this thing. You have been playing with your auntie. You see, the next time, if I tell her to learn something, she dare not, because she knows that the next place she's going to learn that thing is on the assembly ground, the public, or she will go back to those classes that she does not want to go to. So that was, I felt, to some extent, I felt like I damaged her self-esteem.
No.
At some point, because it took her a while to talk. She was shy. She began to cry. Then she was like, I can do this. By herself, she concluded she could do it. But at some point, I felt bad. Like, oh, I should not have done that to her. That, oh, I almost killed her self-esteem. But that also further helped her to say that I can confront these people. This is my fear. But then let's look at it from the part of mockery. Parents who would, they will beat their children from the house, beat them to school. So how can we then normalize this part of mockery so that it will not kill the children's self-esteem? Because truth be told, this girl now, the mother is in the police custody, but the fact remains that her video is online. A naked video is online. She will grow up to see it. So how do we undo that?
Okay, you see, when it has to do with controlling and managing child abuse and child maltreatment, I think the government is the last segment. The family member, the community, the neighborhood are the primary sector, because they have to. It is what the government get to know about that they handle. Now, there is need for the government to sensitize the people. So many people lack. Not all mothers understand about parenting. Right? I think there is need for public awareness on parenting. There is need for public awareness on abuse, substance abuse. Right? One of the effects of substance abuse is that the children or people around somebody who abuse substance suffers the effect. Right? Sometimes the people, the children, when somebody is under influence of anything, who suffers it? They say when two elephants are fighting, the ground suffers. All right. So to handle this mockery of it, a child has his own right. Just like the parents have. Even the word of God say parents should not provoke their children to anger. Right? So I believe that it begins with parents understanding that this child, irrespective of the weaknesses, still have their rights. All right. Some of these things you can't practice it abroad. You can't molest a child just because we are.
You will not even try it,
all right?
Because you're even threatening them with your mouth. They had already called the police.
Just leaving your child in the house. Maybe you left a child in the house as a mother. Nobody is with her child to go and get something in the market, and the officials of the government get to know about it. Somewhere like UK, they will just issue a 3 times warning, and after then the child becomes a government property. Not to talk of public abuse. So now, sometimes, I like I say, the government need to sensitize the people. Let there be public awareness. Let on the need to manage the mental health, the image of their children. Just imagine a child, this child we are talking about now. After this case, there's what we call stigma. Will she be able to dwell in that place anymore?
Because whatever comes online stays online.
It stays online.
How do you?
And again, the person who posts such video, it shouldn't have gone online, right? Because I believe there is still a way of the government coming into this situation without such video. It's a video of someone's nakedness.
Online.
All right,
At
it's
that,
not. It's
and
not.
it's not even a baby.
Right.
If
So
it is a baby, it is easy for you to, they will get past that stigma. But at that age, she's wise enough to know that what the mother has done to her is bad. But seeing her seeing our own naked pictures, naked videos online. Now it comes back to, I feel like it's the man did not directly take that video to the Lagos State government. He posted it online, and from there, online things like that used to trend online. Now they pick it up. Now you see that when things happen, instead of you to rescue the person that is affected. Now, this is not limited to child abuse. When things like this happen, let's say the case of an accident, the case of a death, maybe someone died, something bad is about to happen to somebody. You see that the first thing we do is to pick up our phone, make videos, post it online so that people can see that this thing is happening. Now, how do we regularize wanting to make posts like this online? And first of all, coming through first of how do we normalize wanting to post a video, and first of all rescuing the
situation.
situations before after rescuing the situation, then you can then post online. How do we create a normality? How do we create normalcy rather in situations like this? Because I mean, this is a whole stigma on this girl. I mean, there was a video that trended online last year of a girl whose picture surfaced online. She shared a part of her body that where she's having some kind of rashes, eczema, and all of that. She shared it with her friend. The friend, instead of helping her to get solution, posted the video online. And 2 years after, okay, this thing happened. She came back 2 years after, which was last year. She talked about the video like she's the girl who trended online 2 years ago, where somebody posted a naked video of me. I shared with the person that I have this problem. Can you help me to provide the solution? But the fact remains that we that later watched the video 2 years after, we saw the naked video 2 years ago. But she was sharing her experience, how the thing affected her mental health, because she sees that our naked video is all over the internet within that time. So how do we create normalcy in this issue?
Okay. First of all, it begins with public awareness. All right. It begins with orienting the people. This time around, everybody wants to be a content creator.
Exactly.
All right, because of the monetary benefit.
Yeah.
And that is why I like, in as much as I'm not trying to make advert, I like YouTube. Right, YouTube. There are some kind of videos you cannot post in YouTube. All right, so I believe all these social networks, social handles should employ the same thing. Somewhere like TikTok now, you can post anything.
Exactly.
All right, so that is where we can even have bandits posting certain things. All right, so I believe there should be regularization for postures, for videos and things that have to be approved, just like, and it's possible. Just imagine you want to join a group, a page. There is setting that for an admin to approve your membership. The same thing can happen. That okay, certain video with certain things. There are some places whereby maybe you using certain words, you'll be warned. So this thing is possible, and our government can ensure that, so that some of the things we see. Just imagine the case: someone is sharing, just like a secret, and all you could do is to post it. And now, because the thing is more now, because people things like this drags attention, and the more view are giving you money, comment is giving you money,
Exactly.
likes is giving you money. So people want anything, they don't mind. So that is why I believe the government can help by ensuring that certain things cannot be approved, even in as much as when you post them, they will not be approved. Right. So it begins with that. Then it begins with you as an individual. Do you have conscience? There should be sensitization. The government have a lot.
You see, this conscience that you just talked about, there was a video I got. There was an incident that happened in Ibejileki some weeks ago, a gas accident. I was in the bus when they were talking about it. It just happened about an hour before. Then I entered the bus and they were talking about it. So I told the guy, please share with me now. I sent him my number so he could forward the video. Oh my God. I wish I didn't watch that video. I wish I didn't watch the video because, like, my system just, everything just turned upside down. I mean, watching dead people, they with their body burnt, their body scattered around, and they make those videos. They could not even, at least for privacy sake,
do some editing,
do some blurring before you post those gory image online. And I got the video. I was like, no, 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 I can't do this. We couldn't take the video. We couldn't, because the image is too gory, and it's come back to society doing their best in ensuring a sanity in our community. I mean, there are some things that you don't just go. There's another video I got. This one was even holding the leg of a person. I was like, what is all this? I understand that we are dealing with a sensitive issue here. I understand that if the video had not been online, we wouldn't be talking about it. But at the same time, there are some things that we do for future sake. For future sake, that this thing is going to be online. It is not something that you have just seen it one time and you've forgotten about it. It is in your head. You don't have evidence again. But social media is an evidence. Is enough evidence to show that this thing happened. And I don't know if other social media platforms do it, like Facebook. It will keep bringing you 1 year remembrance.
Imagine.
You'll be receiving 4 years, 10 years remembrance.
As if it's birthday.
As if it is birthday. They'll be giving you that remembrance. And as it is coming back, you are remembering those things afresh and all of that. But I want to go back to how we can help the girl involved here.
Okay.
Because I understand that the Lagos state government has put her in the care of the social whatever in Lagos. But then, how can they help this girl to get back her sanity?
Nothing is beyond repair. It begins with just what we just mentioned. First of all, for the fact that her naked video is attached in this case, that part, even if they want to retain the video, that part can be cut off. It is very possible. All right. The platform, all these platforms are under government regulation. So this thing to save.
Are you sure it's under Nigerian government regulation?
There is a system for it. That's why they wanted to cyber levy, cyber whatever. All right. So it's under they should be under government regulation.
Yeah,
so that aspect of the video, where the woman was flogging the child, can be there, but as a testimony in future, in case the woman, because I cannot ask them to delete the video. The woman might tomorrow want to come out and say, so that aspect of the video can be edited off. It because of future.
It still come back to tech working in this country. There was a time a naked video of Tiwa Savage surfaced online, and she said she reached out to an expert, a tech expert, who took down all video, that even if you have the video on your phone, you can't access the video again. And it was tested true. Those who had the video, they couldn't locate the video on her phone. But then the government regularization is not there. I remembered when the Nigerian Guild of Filmmakers or whatever, they said they placed a ban on smoking, sin, and all of that. One of their director came online and he granted an interview, and he said he went to a country and he wanted to, they said an hit video of one of the Nigerian musician is online, that they just posted the video on YouTube, and he said he wanted to check it. But do you know that in that country, he said as soon as he tried to use his phone, use other system in that particular country, they said such video is not allowed to be shown in their own country. It is posted, there was smoking scene, he said there is a smoking machine where you see that smoke is everywhere, but it's not real life smoking. But this one person in a 3-minute video was smoking back to back. The smoke was coming out. But in that country, it did not have access to watch it. Meanwhile, people in Nigeria were watching it. Still on YouTube. You see videos of people 2 minutes, 1 minute and a half, smoking back to back, and you're wondering, what are you promoting? So it still come back to regularity of the Nigerian government. There was a country that Apple wanted to take their phones to, and they said they can't use that they are not allowed to use the Apple charger, that they have to change it to Type C because the Type C is what is recognized in that country. Apple had to take back the phone and say we have to follow the regularity of the government of this country before we take our product to that place. They followed the due process according to how it is laid down by the government. But you see that in Nigeria, things like that, I'm not sure it is working.
It is. The thing is, every segment of Nigeria government, in as much as we're not talking about the government, every segment of Nigeria government is as corrupted. You know, so that great, huge corruption. There's no part of anything that has to do with human existence, management, that is not under law. But the thing is that our people can easily be bought over. All right. So what you talk about tech, nothing is impossible. Just imagine you sent a video to somebody via WhatsApp. In as much as you are the sender of that video, when you click on that video, there will be option for delete for all. Even if you send that video to a group, and so long you are the one that sent it, if you click on delete, it will show you option either to delete for yourself or to delete for all. And once you delete that video for all, it's deleted from everybody. All right. So I believe that if the government want to do this to save the image, in order for to kill
the sanity of that girl,
it's possible. It is very, very much possible. But the thing is, will it come to their head? All right. Except if the family of the girl can come up with that idea, it is very much possible. All right. And on the other hand, I have few things to talk about. There is need for the government to educate people. People need to be aware. There are certain, you don't allow things to get that bad before you alert the government. People need to be alerted. To be aware of when things are, whether the child is your child, because you don't know whom God is going to use for you tomorrow. You don't know the position that girl, that person, that child will be tomorrow. There is need for the government to create room for people to be aware. And there is need for parenting programs. So many parents do lack the knowledge of parenting.
Exactly.
If we can have parenting programs in the society, it will help. Not all mothers are educated mothers. So they need to understand that in as much as these children are their children, the children still have their own rights.
You know, this parenting program you mentioned, it reminded me of a guy recently who posted a very sensual image of his I guess 11, 4, 5 years old. Posted it online. The girl was making some seductive styles. The girl was, they took her to the club. She was on tongue. A 4 years old wearing tongue. I was like, who taught her all these things? They posted, they went to the hotel room, they took pictures, and according to him, he said he was only using her to trend, because they said they wanted to pay, they will start paying content creators in Nigeria now. So he wanted to use the girl to trend and all of that. And do you know what the police command did? They said they couldn't arrest the guy. They put him in a rehabilitation center. That he's doing that because he doesn't know what he's doing.
Rehabilitation
but how many
for somebody that is sensitive enough to know that this video will earn him money?
Exactly.
And they say
he doesn't know what he was doing.
He's mad and he posted a video.
So the thing now go back to this parenting education that you mentioned, that you see that most times when it comes to parenting, it is the religious body that is doing this talking. When it comes to parenting, or maybe talk shows, the media is taking it up back to back. But when it comes to the government, you hardly see these things. It look like the children is not included in the agenda of the government. So I don't know.
That is very wrong, because the children grows to youth, from youth to adult, and we always say that the youth are the future of the nation. So if the foundation be destroyed, all right, just imagine, not gone are the days that things happen and is forgotten. Not in this era. We're in computer age. So a child shouldn't allow. Just imagine the case we are treating now. Nobody know what this young lady is going to grow to become tomorrow. Can grow up to become a great politician, and tomorrow, and this video will surface. it's not something that should be. It will be a negligence on the side of the government if something is not done about this. All right. So programs like parenting education will help. Parenting education shouldn't be limited to religious leaders. Some people, when you want to talk about counseling, you see, not all pastors are counselors. When you go to counseling, we have pastoral counseling, So, but someone who is trained as a pastor, as a preacher, as a teacher, coming to counsel, they are not rooted. Right? So see, the government should have an organized program for people, professional people who are rooted into teaching on parenting to handle it. It will help the parents to understand that aside their right over their children, the children equally have their own rights. There are some certain things parents are doing, they don't even know it's wrong. All right. So when people are aware of the effects, that when things go wrong for the children, it comes back to them. It will help to reduce it. On the other hand, we equally have community support system. All right. Let there be setting in the community. Before if an abuse is going in a compound, there is no how the government will come to know of it. The people in that area should be able to raise alarm. And let there be a system that, okay, like we have the police station, right? When certain things happen, you take it to station. Do we have something like that, a system whereby people can easily walk up to and say, okay, I'm undergoing abuse? All right, somebody, you can decide to go and report a case in police station. When people are undergoing abuse, where can they run to? There should be a system like that. It will help to, and I will not stop to commend the effort of the government in reaction to this, because the woman was like, you can go ahead and report.
Exactly.
She felt nothing will be done,
and she got her punishment.
All right. I believe from our case, other people will learn. If we have this kind of rapid response to issues like this, it will help to calm it down.
Exactly. I mean, what is just coming to my mind is that if there can be antenatal, you go to the hospital for checkup before you give birth, there should also be a kind of class even after you have given birth, that this is what you do, this is how you do it, this is how you, because we want to grow up in a sane environment. And whether or not we like it, it is what is happening now that will birth the next generation. So if the next generation are not raised in a sane environment, there's 100% tendency that the future is not standing so well. So the government needs to do more. And I know that they are trying, but to some extent, the workers, because you see that when it comes to teaching on parenting and all of that, they've practically left most of this teaching to schools, to school as government schools to cater for. But then, thank God for a program like the social club, where they took the girls. So thank God for a program like that could voice and that could help in curbing this kind of dehumanizing act. But then there can be more. So let's move this conversation to the final laps. For anybody who would want to punish their children, what would you have advised that any parents do at this point? You have tried so many things. You have tried the mockery game. You have tried the beating game. The child is not hearing. Well, this child wants to kill me. There's a you want to kill me. You cannot kill me. I didn't kill my parents. So should such parents leave their children and let them spoil and add up to the problem we have in the society, or what can they do?
Thank you very much. That question is a very good one. Now, I want to take it back to the government. They say a child for one is a child for all. Now, the government have a part to play in the life of every citizen. A child has the right to report their parents. The parents equally, there should be a system also where the parents can equally report a child who has failed to follow the right way.
Well, this thing that you are saying, it reminded me of a time my brother was misbehaving. And my mom said, I will go and throw you. I will go and give you to soldiers to help me discipline you. And I know about a particular woman who intentionally asked soldiers to come and bundle her son. He was in the custody of those soldiers for 2 weeks.
And he can never
When
come
the
back
boy,
the same.
when he came back, he was all right. So if you are saying a child for or if for one is a child for all, are you indirectly saying that this should be legalized?
Yeah, you see, if there is no legal measure, it's one of what I have here. If there is no legal measure over the situation, it will keep on happening. I don't know if the government can come with a legal measure for parents abusing their children and children's stubbornness, it will stop. It will reduce. Now, I equally have a case of somebody who was equally same thing happened. The child was handed over to the soldier. He's not beaten. Soldier knows how to punish somebody when they make you face the sun for one day, and that I believe this like that will even help. Will save you the stress of beating.
Is that not more? Is he not as deadly as what this woman did?
No, it's not. No,
in this
soldiers
video?
are trained to
Looking at the
punish.
son for
I just cited that as an
Okay.
example. You know, one thing is that when you hand somebody over to the military, they punish you according to the level of your stubbornness. If a
So
criminal
stubbornness
is
don dey
handed
get
over to
greed be
them,
that. Stubbornness don dey get greed.
I get great now.
Okay.
The stubbornness of stealing, the stubbornness that now there are people that are stubborn. They can never they cannot go to the extent of raping. When somebody have the mind to rape somebody, that person's punishment is different. Right? Someone that has the kind of stubbornness that can lead to killing another, like the video we had of the bullying of a student that say, I will make sure I take blood from you. That kind of mindset is a stubborn mindset, but a mindset that can kill. All right. So there is level to stubbornness. So I want to say that if the government can have a measure, a legal measure to attach to whatever law, it will help. Once, nobody wants to go to jail. Nobody, like there was a case of a guy that I think he was seen misbehaving, and they bundled him and took him to one rehabilitation center. Rehabilitation center is not just for mad people, right? There is a course I was given, though I didn't take the course in one state, one of the institutions in Ogun State back then, psychosocial rehabilitation. Psychosocial rehabilitation. So I believe there should be rehabilitation center. People should come to know that it's not just for people who are picking paper. Right? When somebody, that is why in that place we'll have classes, we'll have section by section. Somebody who is feeling Jagaban, not one of our presidents.
When your madness on the get level.
You know, so they take him there. There are people. You know, the thing is that there is a problem without solution. They say a problem becomes a problem when people see it as a problem. First of all, government should understand that it has become a problem that is eating deep in the nation. And if children who will become youths and youth who will become the leaders of tomorrow are not being properly taken care of, psychologically, mentally, they will grow to become worse than what we are having in the government today.
All right. So on a final note, what I've just gathered from our conversation so far is that even if you are beating your children, not to the point of using 2x2, like this one has
2x2 is for building.
You use it to build house. You can't use it to build up a child. So even if you are beating them, let there have an age limit that you can use cane for. And as you are flogging your child, let them know why you are beating them. And as you are beating them, not to the point of what this woman has done, and let us learn to normalize beating a child and subjecting them to mockery, because it can further kill their self-esteem. And on the part of the government, we give kudos to the Lagos state government that they have done well. And you say when it comes to government administering help in this situation, the Lagos state government is trying.
They did well. I said earlier that I will not forget to commend their effort.
They are really, really trying.
By swinging into action, it has, first of all, the person who reported will be motivated to do more.
Yeah.
People also will be motivated to report similar cases. And I think there should be something like helpline. Just like we have helpline for when you spot something like this, which number do you call? Where do you report to?
911.
911. Is it working? Right. So I believe if the government have gone far, this far and rapid. I call it rapid response because they took up the case immediately they saw the video. So if they can go this far and fast, let them, make it more standardized. Because honestly, people are undergoing abuse.
Exactly. So for the part of the government, they have done well. At the same time, they can do more. And on a final note, if you have a child that is giving you headache, please don't subject them to what this woman has done in this video. There are other measures that you can go about it.
Sometimes beating a child who is out of outgrown age is the reason why we see cases or hear cases of a child fighting the parents. Like this kind of girl, she happened to be somebody who is submissive, who is loyal. If it is a very stubborn child, she will not beat outside. You say, what will happen should happen. There are children like that.
She can even decide to run out of the house. She can decide to run away. So there are quite a number of factors that we cannot discuss now. So we are wrapping up the show on this note that if your child is provoking you to the point of doing this, tamper justice with mercy. There are other things that you can do. You may need to sit down, relax, and get to the root cause of such a child misbehavior. In this case, we don't know exactly what this child has done that warranted this kind of punishment, and there is nothing any child would have done that warrants a parent to subject her to this kind of punishment. So this is all that we can take on the lifestyle segment right here at Prime Media TV. I am Ayo, and before we leave the studio, remember to follow us on all our social media platforms. On Facebook, we're Prime Media TV. On Instagram and TikTok, we're Prime Media Studios. On the website where you're currently watching us, we're enginespeak.com. And you can do well to follow us on YouTube at Enginespeak. I am Ayo. Until I come your way again next week, Wednesday and Friday. Do have a great day. Bye.